Why should it be about your desires and your needs and not about my desires and my needs in this moment? Why are you the more important one here, right? What happens when today we have these opposing needs or wishes for sex? And what you're bringing here from your relationship is a very classic example that happens a lot when the man feels, I'm horny, I'm passionate, I'm ready to go, I want to have sex, I want to fuck. And the woman feels she needs more time, she needs more lovemaking, a slower arousal. There can be other examples of this conflict as well. And then yes, there is a situation that your partner can technically provide what kind of sex you need right now. But there is this feeling of unfairness and feeling wronged. Why should sex be your way and not my way? It's a very common resentment that people have. So the problem is that people just see everything in sex as their wish and their desire. It's like, I want this and you want this. Why should it be about what you want, not what I want? But if we step away from this, we will see that there are other realities in sex here beyond just what I want, what you want. And we can relate to them with love, with compassion, with care from the heart. We understand that it's not true that your desires and needs right now are completely equal. And if you just look at them with just some humanity and love, you will see there is often a lot of inequality between your way and my way. And maybe there will be a reflection to reconciliate this in a very reasonable way. So there are some useful frameworks that you can use to look at those moments. So we can discuss those 3 frameworks on this classic example, but you can actually use them for many other things in sex. So the first way to look at it when we have this difference in this sex session is to ask, well, what would I have to do to have sex your way? And what would you have to do to have sex my way? He doesn't want any arousal. He's really turned on and horny. He just wants to go straight for penetration. He wants like a great fuck. You can't engage with it. You need time to relax, to get aroused more slowly. This is how your body, your nervous system works. You don't have a magic way to suddenly get immediately aroused. If he has the magic way to suddenly immediately get you aroused, he can use it, but he doesn't have it as well, does he? So what you have to do is to have sex with your body cold, your body turned off, your body not aroused, not enjoying sex, forcing yourself essentially, violating yourself. What would he have to do to have sex your way? He's still going to get his penetration. He just needs to wait a little bit for it, and while he's waiting he can love your body, enjoy your body before penetration in other ways. And if he's really turned on, he can channel all that sexual energy to really ravish your body and enjoy it with passion. And then he gets to his penetration as well, a slightly delayed gratification. Are these needs equal? Another classic example, one person has high energy, wants to have hot, passionate, intense sex. The other person feels low energy today. Could be a man, could be a woman. So what does that partner have to do? Somehow find lots of energy, which they don't have, force themselves into something really exhausting when they are already depleted. What does the other person have to do in this situation? Slow down and enjoy more gentle sex, which they're perfectly capable of doing. Someone with higher energy can do something in a lower energy. Someone in lower energy can't do something in a higher energy. They just don't have it. And the person in higher energy still gets to enjoy sex. It's still nourishing. It's still a really enjoyable experience. It still feeds them with sexual energy, but not in the frequency that they were ready for today, while the other person has to completely force themselves into exhaustion. So if you look at it this way, it should become apparent in a loving, caring relationship that from one person we are asking enjoy things a little bit differently but still enjoy them, while from the other person we are asking them to force themselves into not enjoying sex at all, into exhaustion, into depletion. The second framework is very, very similar to the first one, just from a slightly different angle to drive the point. If I have sex your way, what would I lose? If we have sex my way, what will you lose? If I, as a woman, have sex your way, go straight into, intense penetration without any foreplay, any arousal, your way, what do I lose? Well, I lose everything. My body's not turned on. I can't enjoy sex at all. It's probably going to be uncomfortable or even painful. What will you lose if you slow down and you spend some time with me, us loving each other's bodies together? Okay, so you're just losing the fact that the penetration is not immediate. You're still getting penetration. You're still going to enjoy it. It's even hard to call it losing, because if you approach it right, if you enjoy my body, you love my body, you love how it feels, you just enjoy it for a bit before you enjoy the vagina with the penis, we can could even argue that you are gaining something through your body. You're gaining more pleasure, more different kind of sexual energy before you get that penetrative kind of sexual energy if you approach it, positively. The worst case scenario, if you really want to feel like, oh, this is all really boring for me, I really don't want to do this foreplay, I just want penetration, but I'll do it for you. Well, the worst case that's going to happen then is that you're going to be a little bit bored for a little while before you get to penetration. Like, I don't recommend this to anybody to just, do foreplay with the attitude that you're bored, because you're not going to arouse a woman anyway. But, for the sake of the argument, that's the worst case scenario. So I've lost all the enjoyment of sex. It's not possible for me without proper arousal. And what's happened to you is that you were bored for 10 minutes. I hope we can see that, they're not quite sort of equal losses. Again, let's take the second example. One person is really kind of hot, passionate energy, and the other person just doesn't have energy for it. They're in a low energy today, high energy sex or low energy sex, right? Again, what am I losing if I have sex your way? Well, I'm already depleted and I have to deplete myself and exhaust myself even further. What are you losing from slowing down and having more gentle kind of sex? You are still going to receive sexual energy from it. Sex is still going to happen. You're still going to enjoy it, just in a different energy. You're still going to be enriched by it while I'm going to be depleted by it. Third useful framework to use is let's gain some awareness about what this kind of sex actually delivers to us right now. What is it about? So you're in the adventurous mood and you want to do something exciting, something fun today. Whereas I might be in a space today where I need to feel loved. I need to feel real deep connection and intimacy with you. I'm not in a mind space where I'm feeling adventurous and I want to have fun. Why should sex be your way and not my way? Can we just acknowledge what different kinds of sex are about? Some kind of sex bring us, a sense of fun and adventure and excitement and a thrill. And that is surely a good thing and a nice thing to experience. And another kind of sex is about me experiencing love from you, a real soulful nourishment by your love. It's a really deep core need that really affects your well-being, to make you feel better or to make you feel much worse when you feel unloved. We all share the same common human values. We're all human beings. So without saying that, your needs are more important than my needs, can't we arrive to some kind of a general awareness that as human beings, especially in a loving relationship, caring for each other, we can recognize that when your partner really needs to feel loved, it's a bigger need than my need to have fun. So it's just a way of thinking about it. It's just kind of a reflection to have. It's not a particular specific exercise. That might even be a bit too forced. You might reflect on it on your own. If you're the partner who puts your lover under pressure, you will understand there's a different reality here. And it's not about your partner disrespecting you, but it's just about different abilities in that moment. You're not going to feel resentful, like you're being wronged. Or if you're the partner who is being put under pressure, maybe when that kind of discussion arises, maybe there's a way for both of you to kindly, lovingly have that conversation, to try to understand each other empathetically, with love. So I've explained this on this example of a man acting this way and the woman having these needs. But just to be clear, it really isn't about just that one situation or about men and women, especially if the woman is, opened really sexually. Hopefully through the things that I'm teaching you, you will often find women have incredibly powerful sexual energy when it's really open. So the same kind of consideration would go also quite often for the male partner, especially in the daily life, with all the challenges we have for energy, for time, stress. It's just a general framework. You can look at many things in sex with, other kinds of conflicts that you have about particular desires or wishes in sex. So of course, in general, in the scope of your whole sex life, it is good to be open and willing, to not be too rigid, to make an effort to go on a journey with your partner, to explore with what kind of sex they want to have with you, all within the common sense of what you might enjoy and what are your hard boundaries. But that's a bit of a different topic, not what we are talking about here. So it's only common sense that in a loving relationship, in a caring relationship, you're not asking any of the partners to really force themselves and do something that they completely can't do, that you default to the partner who has deeper relational needs today, core fundamental needs, rather than just having some fun. It's not a battle between my needs and my wishes and your needs and your wishes, just a normal, loving, caring relationship. And that's the idea of learning this flexibility in the sex life, to learn to have really fulfilling, really profoundly fulfilling kinds of sex in different energies, in high energy, in low energy, with this, with that. That's why I'm teaching you all these practices, because yes, if you're having sex in a very kind of standard mainstream way, then there's only some things that are enjoyable, other things are not enjoyable. You develop your sensitivity, your enjoyment, you develop your perception connection of different sexual energies. You learn to master your sexual energy. Then all these different kinds of sex can become really profoundly fulfilling, enjoyable. You have a choice, and over time, all your different needs will be fulfilled on different days. But on any single day, you will profoundly enjoy fulfilling sex, whichever way is happening today. If you authentically treat your partner this way, if they really feel that care and that compassion, that empathy in your lovemaking, then the whole system in your lover will usually change, and they will flourish, and they will open up, and they'll be able to enjoy more with you, maybe of that kind of sex that you sometimes desire. But if you're too anxious that, all your wishes are not going to be fulfilled, then it's like unsustainable landscaping. You are pillaging the land. The land will bear it for some time. You will keep pillaging it for short-term gain, for your immediate gratification, but the land will shut down and it will close, and then that's it. The resources have run out. You love this person. This is not a nobody. We are empathetic beings. When we see somebody suffering, we really feel for them. We feel their pain. But in sex, in this culture that we have at the moment, that all your needs should be fulfilled and every preference and wish is called a need, we often don't see our partners in that empathetic way. We don't see their suffering. Everything in sex has been positioned like, all of it is a need. These are my sexual needs. And I think people have lost perspective a little bit, that there are sexual needs, and then there are sexual, wishes or quirks or whims or preferences. Like, we can have all of those, and it's okay to have all of those, as long as you're aware of the difference between them. What is your actual need in sex? Is that you have sexual connection with your lover, that you experience intimacy, that you live your sexual energy, that you are loved. These are needs. And if somebody's not having sex at all, then their needs really are not being fulfilled, because they don't feel intimacy, they don't feel connection, they don't feel love, they don't feel their sexual aliveness. But to have sex in a very particular way, and exactly that way, is not a need, it's a preference. It means the need can often be fulfilled in a different way, and it will still be fulfilled. And yes, of course, ideally, our needs will be fulfilled in exactly the same way as we fancy in this moment. But what if that really puts out your partner? So maybe it's okay for some of the wishes to not always be fulfilled, for the sake of the greater love, for the sake of really taking care of each other, because your needs will still always be fulfilled. Often it's just the wishes and the whims that might not be fulfilled. Not always, but often.